Let's see how we can use SPSS to help us determine the conditional probabilities. So here's a data set that I just made up, and we're gonna continue with our topic in terms of schools, public versus private, and uniforms, whether students like the uniforms or they don't like them. So I have some data. Ones are public schools and twos are private schools. Ones indicate that the student likes the notion of uniforms, and 0 means that they don't like the notion of uniforms. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to variable view and go ahead and label my values so that I know which ones are what. So 1 we said indicate public school, and 2 indicate private, and then we said that 1 means yes, I like uniforms, and 0 means no, I do not like uniforms. Okay, now to get the conditional probabilities, we have to go under Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Crosstab. Now here we have to indicate which variable do we want on rows and which variable we want on columns. Just for the sake of the conditional probability, it doesn't really matter which ones we put on rows and which ones we put on columns. I'm going to go ahead and select schools to be my rows, and I want whether students like or don't like, uniforms to be my columns, and then the next thing I'm going to click is cells, and I want to ask for the percentages on the row, column, and total. And I'm going to go ahead and do OK. And here is our table. If we ignore the lines that have the percentages in them, we just have a similar table that we worked, just like we worked earlier. We're just going to have the count in each category. So we have the public school students, how many didn't like and how many liked uniforms, and we have the private school students, how many didn't like and how many liked the notion of uniforms. Now we can use those numbers when we calculate the conditional probability, but also SPSS gives us the probability straight into that table. And here is how we read the conditional probability. So the conditional probabilities are inside the cells, so we have 57, 43, 43, and 54%, the 46, 30, 54, almost 57, and the 46% here as well. So the line here indicates the condition. So if we know that the condition is satisfied, we know, given that our student is in public school, there's 57% chance that they're not going to like uniforms and 43% chance that they are going to like uniforms. All right. Now, here is the other condition. If we know within that this is satisfied, right, that we know which group they fall for the uniform. So given that they don't like uniforms, we have 54% chance that we're going to have a student from public school. And if we know that they do like uniforms, given that students like uniforms, we have a probability of 43% that they're from public school. So here, like these percentages and these second lines inside our table indicate the conditions and what conditions are satisfied. So here in the private school, given that a student comes from a private school, we know that we have 46% chance that they're not going to like uniforms and 54% chance that they are going to like uniforms. Similarly, if we know that they don't like uniforms, if that condition is satisfied, we know that there's 46% chance that they're going to be from a private school, and given that they do like the notion of uniforms, there is a 57% chance that they are from private school. So this is how you read the table. Sometimes it could be a little bit confusing. I personally like just to ask for the crosstab in terms of just accounts and calculate the conditional probabilities myself. If you want to ask SPSS not to give you those percentages but just accounts, just like the table that we worked with earlier, all we have to do is go under Analyze Descriptive Statistics and Crosstab, and we need to make sure that these are not checked. And then we're going to have a simple 2x2 table. So here we have public, private, yes, no, and we have all the totals on the side as well. I hope that is helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions.